Nigeria under-17 football team opened Brazil 2019 with a 4-2 win over Hungary, signaling their readiness to win the FIFA Championship for an unprecedented sixth time. In a message to the team after the spectacular performance, President Buhari praised the boys for the determination to excel which they displayed throughout the match despite the brilliant performance of their opponents. President Buhari pointed out that it was a wonderful display that he was very proud of. The Nigerian leader noted that he has followed the team's journey leading up to the arrival in Brazil for the competition and equally noted their determination and confidence throughout their preparation. President Buhari said he has no doubt that the Golden Eaglets are determined to win the competition for an unparalleled sixth time. He assured them of his continuing personal support and that of Nigerians for the entire period of the tournament. President Buhari equally congratulated the handlers of the team, urging them to be sensitive to the needs of the young stars and their burning desire to bring victory and honor to their fatherland. Now we're talking politics as the Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has called on the people of Kogi State to sustain the dividends of democracy by voting massively to return Governor Yahya Bello to Lugard House on November 16. Vice President Osinbajo was speaking at the official flag-off of the All Progressives Congress APC campaign at Ida. Francis Udojo reports.
The event was attended by governors of Ekiti, Kwara, Niger, Yobe, former governor of Bauchi State, and other government functionaries. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari, described the APC governorship candidate as the best choice to ensure growth in the state and assure the people of continuous federal government presence.
Kogi is ready for the next level. We are finished with preliminary, we are finished with primary. It is now time to go to the next level.
Kogi State Governor and governorship candidate of the APC, Yahya Bello, while recounting several projects embarked upon since the inception of his administration, which include zero tolerance for criminality, youth empowerment, revenue generation, civil service reforms, 4 billion naira Ejiba rice mill, as well as the groundbreaking for the construction of 5.6-kilometer bridge across River Niger, linking Kogi to Edo State, promised to do more if given a second chance.
Baba Buhari is for the Talakawan. Governor Yahabelo myself were for the Talakawan. And we have seen exactly what we've been able to do in terms of infrastructure in Kogi State. We had that problem and we're solving the problem.
National chairman of the party, Adams Oshomole, while presenting APC flag to the standard bearer, re-echoed the need for people of the next level agenda.
This flag will fly you to the next level.
Thereafter, the governor was conferred with the traditional title of Oga Onogo Ataigala, Ede.
We apologize for the low quality of visuals in that report. Now moving on, Vice Presidents Yemi Osinbajo, the governors of Lagos, Oyo, and Osun states, as well as some notable Nigerians, were honored by the Alumni Association of the University of Lagos over the weekend. The event climaxed the activities marking the association's Golden Jubilee with the theme Driving Nigeria's Sustainable Development Agenda. State House correspondent Gideon Onifade has the reports.
Congratulations.
It was indeed a golden moment for an alumni association with an array of distinguished Nigerians as members. Take, for instance, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, Speaker of the House of Representatives Femi Gbajabiamila, with many other members of the National Assembly as members. The association also has not less than 7 serving governors as members. And these are just a few of them contributing to the development of the Nigerian society in all spheres.
the Golden Jubilee anniversary to the Pioneer National President, Unilag Alumni Association, Alhaji Khalid Njori, in recognition of your contributions to the founding and the running of the University of Lagos Alumni Association, sir.
We're everywhere. And I think that what the future calls for is for us to dedicate ourselves to the service of this great institution, to ensure that this great institution becomes greater and greater still, and to the service of our country.
Members are not also forgetting to give back to their alma mater, the University of Lagos, either collectively or individually.
We need your support in 3 areas. 1, sowing into the life of the students.
And what are we asking for? Let us run the school. Let us bring it back to what it was before 1979. And I believe that the government is listening to us. So alumni, the idea that federal government will fund university education, the idea that we will just behave as we like, the idea that its government resources must die this evening.
No act of kindness, no matter how small, is ever wasted.
Special recognition was also given to other Nigerians who are not necessarily alumni of the university, but who are equally driving on the path of progress for the nation.
5-0.
Correspondent Gideon Onifade with that package. Now moving on, the need for Nigerians to shun all forms of divisive rhetoric capable of tearing the fabric of national unity dominated discussions at a stakeholders forum with the theme The National Institute in the Context of Changing Environment, organized by the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies. Timothy Yusuf reports on the event held in Abuja.
This convergence of experts are essentially to reflect on the challenges of the National Institute and reposition it for greater effectiveness as the nation's foremost policy think tank. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo, represented by the Deputy Chief of Staff to the President, Adekpaye, says the slogan of the National Institute, "Towards a Better Society," is a clarion call to all Nigerians to contribute their quota in building a better Nigeria where justice and peace prevail. He expressed the commitment of government to set Nigeria on the pathway of sustainable development by addressing insecurity, tackling corruption, reinvigorating the economy, and leveraging on education to boost the agenda for a better Nigeria.
There are major issues that President Buhari has laid out for this government to achieve. Of course, you know about lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty within 10 years, enforcing universal basic education. These are major challenges. How do we fund it? How do we enforce it? How do we ensure that jobs are created for the products of such policies? So these are all areas where ideas are needed.
Many here believe that Nigeria must look beyond the things that divide them, even in the face of diversities of tribe, religion, tongue and creed in the country. Going forward, they suggest that the diversities must be seen as strength to be harnessed for the common good, rather than as weakness to be exploited for individual and selfish interest.
And one of the areas, or one of the ways to do that, I believe, is to invite and have a community radio station.
We have to provide that leadership in the area of policy research.
The National Institute says the present-day environment is perceived to becoming more volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous, thereby posing significant challenges to it, but however poised to nip the challenges in the bud through formulation of appropriate policies. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Now, in what appears to be release of water from Lagdo Dam in Cameroon, more than 100 villages in 9 local government areas of Adamawa State are reported to have been submerged. Bilkisu Abdrazak reports that Yola, the state capital, is not left out of the flood, as the flood claims lives and rendered many residents homeless.
This is Ungwantana in Yola North local government area of Adamawa State, which is one among the areas affected in 2012 flood disaster experienced in Adamawa State. Beside me is Abdullahi Usman, who is one of the residents. Abdullahi, can you tell me why have you not been relocated to a safe house despite several governments warning to you people?
So because we don't have option where to go, so that we are living here up to 40 to 30 years in this area. We born here, we built our home, houses here, then we didn't get anywhere to live.
The flood in Guantana has claimed 3 lives, and many have suffered a lot, especially the elderly. They have been taken to hospital for medical attention. Other areas affected are Ola South, Giri, Numan, Shelem, Demsa, Lamorde and Guyuk local government areas. The flood compelled many to evacuate some of their properties and abandon their houses. In a telephone conversation, the Executive Secretary Adamawa State Emergency Management Agency, Aminu Suleiman, said no official communication received from Cameroonian authority as regards the release of the water from Lagdo Dam.
We are assessing them and we are trying to establish camp for those that could not get where to put their heads.
Both River Benue and Gongola were filled to capacity, thereby flooding water across villages on river banks and flood-prone zones. In Yola, Bilkisu Abubakar, NTA News.
You're watching the days on NTA International. Time for a short break. More news afterwards. Stay with us.
Today or 4 days when my girls won't come visit and I need to come go expire.
Oh, my guys, they can't follow me watch this match. I must not fold the hand.
Babe, what's happening now? Sorry to disappoint you, but my subscription don't expire.
The match is not on my GoTV package.
Now your holla be that. I beg, give me your phone. Make I show you how you go take do it for my GoTV app for your phone.
Life is so much easier with my GoTV app. Make payments, clear error messages, change your package. You can also check your due dates and keep abreast of your payment history. The new My GoTV app is everything you need in one place. So what are you waiting for? Download My GoTV app now from Google Play or App Store to enjoy the easy life. GoTV. Live it, love it.
Thanks a lot for staying tuned in to the news on NTA International. Senate President Ahmed Ibrahim Lawan has assured Nigerians of speedy passage of a 2020 budget for early implementation of projects that will give the lives of citizenry meaning next year. The Senate President gave the assurance while addressing people of his Yobe North constituency during flag-off of the 2019 free medical outreach and mass animals vaccination. And from Kano State, importance of the rights of the rescued 9 children who were allegedly kidnapped and later found in faraway Anambra State, the Kano State's Governor, Abdullahi Ganduje, has instituted a commission of inquiry under the chairmanship of retired Justice Wada Omar Rano that will be inaugurated on Thursday, 31st October 2019. In a statement by the media officer to the Governor of Kano State, Abubakar Balarabe Kofa Naisa, indicates that a part of the terms of reference given to the Commission include to conduct an inquiry into the cases of missing persons in Kano State from the year 2010 to date and to procure all such evidence, written or oral, and to examine all such persons as witnesses as the commissioners may think it necessary or desirable to procure or examine, Terms of reference paved way for the Commission to summon any person in Nigeria to attend any meeting of the commissioners to give evidence or produce any documents or other possessions required as evidence to be made on oath or declaration. The Nigerian Police Force Kano State Command, under the leadership of Ahmed Ilyasu, uncovered cases of missing children in Kano State. A total of 9 persons aged between 2 and 10 years were kidnapped, out of which 8 were sold in faraway Anambra State. Some of the victims stayed as captives for over 5 years in Anambra State, losing their identities. As Governor Ganduje expressed his delight that the 9 victims were traced and handed over to their respective families. He also warned that callous and heinous crime that poses security threat to the state will not be tolerated. He adds that no stone shall be left unturned in the quest for justice. Moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari has urged Governor Ahmed Umaru Fintiri of Adamawa State to set up a standard for good governance that might be used to reinforce confidence in the country's younger political leaders. The president stated this in a congratulatory message to the governor on his 52nd birthday anniversary. President Buhari affirmed that Governor Fintiri has started off well, urging him to not to rest on his oars until the people feel the impact of good governance. President Buhari said his administration was fully committed to supporting the youth to succeed because the country looks upon them for future leadership. Right now, we move on to take you around the world in 6 days.
Hello and welcome to the world in 6 days. Thousands of people marched across Zimbabwe during the week in a government-organized protest against the US and EU sanctions. The demonstrators said the sanctions have ruined the Zimbabwean economy, but the US and EU argued that they have been imposed on individuals and companies and have no impact on the economy. The government, however, made the day a public holiday, provided buses for marches, and President Emerson Mnangagwa gave an address at the National Sports Stadium. Now, away from Africa, Russia hosted a major summit for dozens of African leaders during the week, an indication of its growing role as key player in the region. Russia used to have a major presence on the continent, but its economic and political clout waned in the post-Cold War period. President Vladimir Putin said the strengthening of the ties with African countries is one of Russia's foreign policy priorities. Russia has been boosting its political contacts in the region, with 12 African heads of state visiting Moscow since 2015, 6 of them in 2018 alone. The development has prompted some concerns among key Western powers who are feeling being outplayed by Moscow. Now, still in the week under review, EU ambassadors have agreed to delay Brexit, but will not make a decision on a new deadline date until next week. The European Commission said work on this will continue in coming days. Reports indicated the talks came after Chancellor Sajid Javid admitted the government's deadline to deliver Brexit next Thursday can't be met. Boris Johnson said he was waiting for the EU to decide what they want to do. Now, a lorry driver was charged with manslaughter of 39 people found dead inside a refrigerated lorry. Maurice Robinson, 25, was arrested after the bodies of 31 men and 8 women were found in graves on Wednesday. He was further charged with people trafficking, immigration, and money laundering offenses. Mr. Robinson is due before a magistrate court on Monday. 3 others, a man and a woman, both 38 and 48-year-old men from Northern Ireland, remain in police custody. All 3 were arrested on suspicion of manslaughter and conspiracy to traffic people. A court in southern Bangladesh sentenced 16 people to death for the murder of a student set on fire after accusing her teacher of sexual harassment. The ruling came 6 months after 19-year-old Nusrat Jahan Rafi's murder. The young woman had died of burn wounds after she was set on fire for refusing to withdraw a sexual harassment complaint against her teacher. Her murder shocked the country and led to a series of protests demanding justice for Nusrat. The trial has been one of the quickest in the country, where such cases usually take years to conclude. Prosecutor Hafiz Ahmed said this has proven that nobody will get away with murder in Bangladesh. And that's the world in 6 days. Don't forget to tune in next week for a recap of stories on the foreign scene. I am Joyce Umitu. Thanks for staying.
Thanks a lot, Joyce, for that package. Now, the U.S. military has carried out an operation in Syria against the leader of Islamic group. We join Olayin Kaujo for the package.
The leader of the Islamic State group has been killed in a U.S. military operation in northwest Syria, President Donald Trump has said. The leader of the Islamic State group detonated his suicide vest after being caught at the end of a tunnel by special forces. Baghdadi came to prominence in 2014 when he announced the creation of a caliphate in areas of Iraq and Syria.
Today's events are another reminder that we will continue to pursue the remaining ISIS terrorists to their brutal end. That also goes for other terrorist organizations. They are likewise in our sights.
ISIS alleged to have carried out a number of atrocities that resulted in thousands of deaths. The jihadist group imposed a brutal rule on almost 8 million people in the areas under its control and was behind a number of attacks in the cities around the world. The U.S. declared the caliphate defeated earlier this year. Mr. Trump said Baghdadi died after running into a dead-end tunnel in Idlib province. Baghdadi was accompanied by 3 of his young children, Mr. Trump said, and detonated his suicide vest, killing them all. The blast mutilated Baghdadi's body, but DNA tests confirmed his identity.
This raid was impeccable and could only have taken place with the acknowledgement and help of certain other nations and people. I want to thank the nations of Russia, Turkey, Syria, and Iraq, and I also want to thank the Syrian Kurds for certain support they were able to give us.
No U.S. soldiers had been killed, but a number of Baghdadi's followers also died while others were captured. Mr. Trump added that highly sensitive materials and information had been gathered. Baghdadi, whose real name is Ibrahim Awad Ibrahim al-Badri, had a reputation as a highly organized and ruthless battlefield tactician. He was described as the world's most wanted man. He was born near Samarra, north of Baghdad, in 1971, and reports suggest he was a cleric in a mosque in the city around that time of the US-led invasion in 2003. Some believed he was already a jihadist during the rule of former Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein.
Olayinka Ojo with a foreign package. Now, just so before we go, let's let you know that Enyimba International of Aba, Nigeria earned a 2-0 victory over TS Galaxy of South Africa in the CAF Confederation